Welcome back to another week of Spring 2025 anime tier list. We're reaching the end of Spring 2025. It's actually crazy. Some animes have already ended, like Onowere Atelier Meister, and others will be ending in the next week or so. All right. We're at a point where we're pretty much just gonna not drop any anime, right? It's already end of the season. Onowere Atelier Meister, we just watched the episode for the finale, and I would actually rate it good. I don't think it's great. It's probably the finale, I think, was better than the entire season in terms of production value. They truly went all out for that. But all out shouldn't be slightly above average, right? I think there is a mind control genjutsu shit happening where our standard of expectation is so low because we just assume shit like this is just gonna be PNG garbage. And by the way, a lot of people hate on Tibate a lot. This is also just like Tibate in terms of movement. It's just static images, minimal, like background assets moving most of the times. But like obviously this show isn't big enough to get that kind of hatred, so no one talks about it. The story was unique in the way that it is power fantasy. I actually did enjoy the finale episode. Final rating for this, I gave it like a 6 point something out of 10. We're judging the actual episode though, so we'll do like another tier list where we have one final tier list that'll basically be like how I felt for the overall season. But overall season, it's probably still gonna be mid, but the finale, I'll put it good. Next up, Unk Tensei. Most recent episode, I think, was also another just kind of good episode. Things are heating up. Rose is definitely sus. I think that she might not be a bad person. It's just that she's put in this situation where she just needs to betray us for the kids. There's a lot of focus put on the orphanage and how much Rose cares about the kids. So my hope is that she's not an evil bitch. Maybe she is, man. The CG fights, the way that they use the CG again to show the battle scenes, the arrow animations too. It was great, man. It's combat stuff. This truly stands out amongst all because of how great the combat is in 3D models. Not a lot of anime does that. In terms of plot, I'm still enjoying it enough to keep watching. Next up, Witch Watch. Straight to the peak. Unfortunate that Witch Watch is not getting the type of engagement that I expected it to. So usually Witch Watch does pretty damn well. And I really thought that this episode would be doing extremely well. But people don't care about this. And I'm shocked. And I guess it tells me that people care more about the slice of life elements. Whenever it's doing rom-com stuff, especially when Nemu's involved, it does really well. This episode was a serious episode. I enjoyed it a lot. Got more lore about the witches, black magic, white magic, the plot twist at the end with Keigo. It was crazy. But like, nobody cares about it. And I was shocked. Still have a diehard audience watching this shit. And after that third day, we'll see what the viewership is really like. It's unfortunate that we still have to deal with this bullshit over here if you don't know about the Shadow Man. I've talked about it in length enough. But I am disappointed at the performance of Witch Watch, but the episode itself, very peak to me. Shiunji family. Oka's arc, I think, is still weak in comparison to Minami. I think Minami's arc from start to the end was great. Oka's arc, I would probably put it good. Yeah, I put it good. I don't think it was great. It gave us more context of why she's behaving like that. Rather than an attention whore pick-me who wants to simply find her soulmate, it's more of like trying to cope with her current issue with everything that she believed to be true crumbling down as father trolled us. Not really troll, but she doesn't... The blood-related bond doesn't really exist, right? So I kind of understand that. She saw one TikTok of somebody talking to afterlife people on top of Mount Fuji, so she went up there. Really fucking stupid. Arata Gigachad. In terms of the development for Oka, for a tsundere to have this kind of rom-com development is pretty rare. Good episode. Good episode overall. Yeah, the kiss scene was nice. But, the arc, again... I just don't think it was good compared to Minami's arc. I really enjoy Minami's arc. Wonder what it's gonna do as it has 2 episodes left. Maybe it's just gonna be random fan service with other characters, or maybe we can squeeze in another character arc between the two. Next up, we got Windbreaker. Windbreaker was great. I love the backstory of Yamato this new aura farmer who is ex-Furin, has a lot of history, sticked around for 1 year or something, became a legend. I don't know what he's up to though. Like he's like a wild card. He helped us out at the end because he's like, you know what, I'm in a good mood. So we'll see what happens with them. I think he's gonna be the focus of the arc that happens in season 3. A lot of people were hyping up season 3 a lot. So this episode, again, I thought it was gonna be some chill times and just talking out emotions, but really enjoyed actually what happened with the confrontation with that Yamato guy. And I think he's trying to poach Sakura away, right? Wonder what the relationship between Umemiya and him is. Maybe it is Gojo and Geto all over again from JJK or something similar to that. Next up, Evil Lord Isekai. I'll probably put this good. The Revenge. I wanted Christiana to get it. Unfortunately, she didn't get it. Liam was just aura farming. The animation quality is pretty mid. Got a new blade. Mr. Tasty is not having a great time. It was a good episode. Next up, Yami Healer. Yami Healer, let's see. I think Yami Healer was a great episode. I think it was. I think that, like, we're getting to the climax. So, Becker is the bad guy, or at least it seems like it. We're getting more details of what happened, right? At the end of, like, what happened in the past with Goldran and how people are going missing. I don't think Goldran necessarily is the bad guy per se, but it's just like things are becoming more evident as we watch more and more and get more details. But Becker showed up, and I think Becker, is he Alfred? My schizo theory is that Alfred is Becker somehow. It could not be. You never know, but he's kind of crashing out at the end. We'll see what happens. Croissant development was also really good. What else happened? The way that he like abandoned, you know, his, well, technically his, like, him leeching was off of, you know, Xenos. So it was smart for him to abandon Goldran faction and follow Xenos by that logic. But also Xenos isn't going to be sticking around, so Croissant, good luck with that. But great development there, and the plot is getting more interesting. Next up, we got Two Perfect Saint. I would put this in great. I enjoyed the most recent episode more than the previous one. Because, I don't know, the previous one, it was an action-focused episode, but I don't really watch this for the action. But the most recent one was also action-oriented, but the villains I cared more. Instead of random goblins and bullshit, we got some handsome-ass Ikemen Demon Lord pulling up, and he's being all zesty and shit, trying to rizz up Philia, and Philia's having none of it. A lot of, cool scenes, right? In terms of, again, action there happening with the character that I care more about. What else happened? A lot of death flags happening. I think that we might get a tragic end. I don't know. Fingers crossed. Still waiting on Hildegard. No. Hildegard-Philia mother-daughter relationship has been revealed. But there's not time right now to obviously talk about it, but we'll see what happens. I think that it's coming to a close. This anime, I only have great things to talk about. Like, it's such a well-paced anime. Low budget show that I think executes really well. Well-paced, just great story overall. Next, we got MHA Vigilante. Most recent episode was... what was it? Setting up for the concert with Popstep. More lore with Knuckle Duster and Queen Bee. Aside from that, nothing really going on. It was a setup episode. It was a chill episode. I'll probably put it good here somewhere. I think that the next episode's gonna really pop off. Or maybe the episode after that. We are coming to a climax after all. We're gonna be watching that today actually, so I'm excited to see. The concert's gonna be ruined, man. Queen Bee's gonna pull up. Something's crazy is gonna happen, but we'll see what happens. Nothing mid so far, huh? Nothing mid so far. Let's see. Uma Musume to the top. As always. Uma Musume is always peak to me. It's just so good. I'm starting to realize that Oguri Kappa is not the main character though. Tamamo is getting too much plot armor. She's gonna win. But it's still gonna be entertaining nonetheless. A lot of new characters being hyped up, but it's so funny in this show where characters show up immediately and then get power crept so quick. I haven't seen any other show that gets power crept this fast, man. Every character gets glazed like crazy, then boom, in like 5 minutes they're done. Oguri Kappa's too peak, man, and we'll see, you know, I think we got 2 more episodes left, right, before second course starts. Or actually, we're gonna have a break before second course. So it looks like we are gonna be getting the conclusion with Tamamo. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be tragic though. One way or the other, it's gonna be, if Oguri wins, it's gonna be tragic for Tamamo because of, you know, dead, like, dying grandfather or some shit. And if Tamamo wins, then great for her. But if Oguri, you know, after all that, ooh, it's gonna be a bittersweet ending. Next up, boy-girl friendship. This anime makes me so fucking mad. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm Dookie trashed. I'm mad. Fuck this anime, bro. Oh my god. It's so annoying. It's so fucking... I just get so angry watching this shit, bro. It's just... I need to see how it unfolds. The author does one hell of a job making character that's so hateable. I'll give him that. The characters also just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, Makishima still makes no sense to me. That guy with the fan? What the fuck is his deal? I don't understand any of his motivations. Like, none of it logically makes sense. Then people are like, why are you trying to use logic in a fucking high school rom-com show? Oh, congratulations. So I should just assume that everyone's just a retarded teenager and the author can just get away with this bullshit? Alright, fine, whatever. Go ahead. Sakune, basically the main character's big sister, snitched on her younger bro because apparently the quality of the product's going bad, and the only reason he lost is because the red hair bitch who's the judge was told that, like, oh, this is a replacement. So you're telling me that she thought it was actually peak, but just because of that one thing where she realizes, oh, it's a replacement, that it's somehow bad? If you never knew about it, you would have passed him. Fucking stupid, bro. Oh my god, it's just pissing me off. But in terms of reaction content, people like it. Next up, Apothecary Diaries, most recent episode. Kind of crazy, right? Kind of probably, I don't know if it was necessarily peak. It was getting more backstory on, you know, Lolan's dad. Now I empathize with them. It's kind of like a Lakan situation, except it's similar in the way that you think that this guy is just an evil piece of shit. But then you learn about his backstory and you're like, oh, I see what happened. Bro is literally in the cuck room as he's telling himself, like, damn, I'm cooked, bro. I'm a terrible father. Like, when did this all go wrong? We're cooked. Not gonna lie, the war was not enjoyable. I don't think you watched this anime for the war, though, right? The animation of the war was extremely poor. It was some debate shit with some PowerPoint presentation. But Apothecary Diaries is not about action. But it would have been nice still to see some actual action combat happening. It's more about, like, you know, the setup, the dialogue, the character interactions, right? More about Jinshi's identity reveal. It was so casual with the way that Mama was like, oh, so you are, you know, the prince. Oh, okay, fine. Cool. The reunion was very nonchalant. I guess it's just right up the alley for Jinshi and Mama. They were never supposed to be some sort of, like, dramatic couple, right? They're not really a couple yet, at least. Mama has always just been kind of like, Jinshi, go away, ew. But it's just been warming up more and more, and identity is that. We'll see what gets handled there. Lolan said dad has one more trick up his sleeve, so we'll see what happened with that. The kids, I don't think are dead. I really do believe that there's some sort of, like, resurrection elixir stuff that we've been talking about that could still come into play with the kids. We'll see what happened with Surya and Lolan. I hope they don't die, but we'll see. What else? Ninkoro. Ninkoro most recent episode. Roboco coming back. I'ma put this shit in great just because Roboco came back. I loved it. I think it's here somewhere. Like, Roboco coming back, like, oh my god, she is so fucking adorable. What was the rest of the episode though? Taking care of Marin. Marin's older sister is a fucking psychopath. And that's pretty much it. Trying to save Marin from her sister and Roboco coming back, and her interactions is so cute. And Roboco became tiny and it's just like a mini Roboco, and oh my god, Roboco is the best character of the show, man. Next up, debate. What happened? It was actually one of the better episodes again, right? My favorite episode of debate is still the auction episode, but this episode is definitely top 3. I can't. Where should I put this? The fight against the director was okay as well. It wasn't amazing. It was alright. The new, it's probably good, right? It's probably here somewhere. I think that it goes in good. No, I don't think it's mid. I think that the episode, like, so many people are so delusional when they see this tier list and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you put last episode Debate in peak, bro. It is better than Evil Lord. Yes, I think that Debate story easily clears Evil Lord. Like, again, this is a subjective thing. Production value isn't the only thing that matters. And on top of that, production value for Evil Lord in the most recent episode wasn't even good. The story of Evil Lord right now is alright. This is not my favorite story. I way more fuck with Debate's story in the way that Arthur is finally going to go on like a different journey before we get to the Academy arc. He gets a new sword and there's like more lore about, you know, some sort of different person that used to have it and the Beast Core that needs to like awaken the sword or some shit. Way more enjoy this shit than Evil Lord. Just that's how I feel about it. I think that this show is actually becoming quite mid recently. Straight up. That's just my honest feelings. I think Evil Lord Isekai had a great start in the beginning, but recently it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't give a fuck about the space battles is what I'm trying to say. I much prefer watching some bullshit animation. That's not even animation between fucking the director and Arthur basically fighting, barely fighting versus... What? You gonna tell me that this animation is peak, bro? The animation is mid, and then the story also is pretty mid right now. You're fucking lucky I put this shit in good. Debate, I low-key thought about putting this shit in great. Based on how much I'm enjoying it. So many people just don't understand, though. They're so delusional, and they're like, I can't believe you rate this shit so high. You have blindfolds on when you watch this anime, and you have an intrinsic hatred for it because of the production value is ass. I try to objectively watch every show without any bias, and the only bias is my subjective opinion on what aligns with my own story, what I like better. Debate right now, I think, is doing pretty good in terms of the story. It's just, god damn, I wish this was fucking... More frames, please. Please, more fucking detail. God damn. Ah. Ugh. Ooh, that was hot. All right, finally, To Be Hero X. So fucking annoying. And I'm gonna re-upload this right now. You guys can see this right now, right? So fucking annoying, bro. Motherfuckers blocked this shit after for this, bro. For 2112 to 2146 visual filter. So fucking annoying. They blocked this shit. And it was popping off too. And now I have to re-upload this shit, man. It's not Sir Gregor's fault. This is not an editing problem. Some shows are way more strict than others. And unfortunately, it is like that. So I'm going to upload this right now. Boom. Different title. X skips Queen's cutscene. I like that title. A lot of people were also saying that. Of saying, bro, fucking skip the boss. You know, the fucking dialogue scene or something. Re-upload because copyright. Moyai. Pin. Alright, there it is. The most recent episode, peak. Absolutely peak. I loved it. It was so troll of how the entire episode was setting up girl boss shit. Right? Independent woman who don't need no man. That was the entire premise of this episode. A random dude shows up, goes, hey, done. It's over, bro. Now, what is going on? Why does no one know who X is, yet he is this powerful? He's not registered in the hero catalog, yet he showed up. No one's ever heard of this guy. Apparently, we try to go to the penthouse floor of the hero suite. He doesn't even live there. Here's what I think is going on. Now, there's some extra. If you're an anime only, you may not notice, but there's a lot. And there's something even more sweaty about anime original series because there is no source content for people to, you know, gatekeep and be snobby about. So I've noticed that so many detectives are just analyzing so many different things that's been happening from PVs, and not just PVs, but other stuff from the author, the director's lines and a bunch of other promotional videos that's been happening on Twitter and stuff like that. But basically, X's identity is a VTuber. He's a salaryman, but he does content on the side. He's a VTuber. And now it makes more sense because he hides his identity with VTubing, you know, with VTubing. He already has a sizable audience. Who knows how big? And they all glaze him. And because of that, he has trust value. It's just, I don't understand how the fuck the VTubing trust value translates into him being fucking omnipotent. Later on, you get to see from the trailer, from the PVs and whatnot, of X is already X, and other people are saying, oh my god, you know, have you heard of this new guy? Yeah, he's so cool, I'm a fan, he's just omnipotent, you know? So even before he became X, the fact that he had this omnipotent power, it's because of VTubing. Maybe there is more to it than that, but it does make sense in how his identity is not known, yet he has the powers because of, again, VTubing, which hides the identity and has a sizable audience, and that's where his powers, I guess, comes from. But that's not, that can't be the full picture. There's got to be more to it than that. We got one more episode for the Queen arc. I think it's gonna handle Boa's crash out. Boa's tilting. She is so fucking mad. And the evil droplet stuff, the fear stuff is going on. So we'll see what happens with that. But the recent episode with Queen, it was honestly an X episode. Also, I love to see all the different heroes kind of pull up, right? They were talking about Dragon Boy, of how he's crashing out. We saw young Lolly, you know, get inspired by Queen. We saw Lucky Xian, you know, of course. We saw, you know, Little Johnny, Big Johnny, and Unk Rock, you know, making moves before he did the whole Eastol stuff. It's really interesting how the telling of this story is in different chronological order and how everything kind of comes together. So I can already kind of see, I think that, I straight up think that the finale of this series could be Tower of God Season 1-esque. As in, if you haven't seen Tower of God Season 1, basically the finale, this is pretty much spoiler-free. You get to see the story being retold from someone else's perspective, and it fucking shocks you. Because the entire season, you don't understand the mindset of this one certain character, and why they behave like this. But the finale is a retelling of Season 1, but from the perspective of that mystery character. And you're like, holy fuck. I think something similar might happen considering there's only one episode for X. And if that episode was, from his perspective, retelling of the story of what his goals are, probably again, rehauling the commission, you know, changing the status quo, kind of aligning with what Queen was doing, I think it will be a chilling episode, but that's pretty much it. A lot of episodes in great, a lot of in good, nothing in mid. Honestly, this should be in mid, but the finale was good enough. And this episode just fucking makes me mad, man. We got one more week or so, and then I'll do like one final tier list to wrap up the entire season of Spring 2025. Summer is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually fucking crazy. That's it from me. Bye-bye.